get right here.
Good afternoon. City and purpose of your visit.
Maryland. Obviously, to have a good discussion about red state versus blue state policies, to have a good open conversation with some businessmen and women in the state about the opportunities in Texas, and we've met with some great Maryland businesses today. So it's just a good open conversation, hopefully very civil, intellectually engaged about which of these tax and regulatory and legal policies and workforce issues really work best for your states.
Did you find any businesses that say, hey, I believe you, I'm moving to Texas? I mean, are you going to leave with new jobs going to Texas?
I think you'll probably have to ask those businesses. There are people who certainly are interested in relocation or expansion, but we're not ready to announce any businesses today. That's a bit premature.
Governor, can I ask you about your Beretta? Can I ask you about the Beretta factory? There's some anti-gun groups that are saying it was kind of callous to go there just a couple days after this big shooting.
Yeah, listen, there's always anti-gun individuals at any time. The fact is, I'm a pro-Second Amendment guy. Texas is a pro-Second Amendment state, and Beretta has been a great manufacturer in Maryland, and they feel not only underappreciated, they feel under attack. So the great thing about the Founding Fathers' concept of the 10th Amendment and this 50 now laboratories of innovation is you need to go live where you feel comfortable. And that's really what this discussion is about. If you want to live in a state where you have high taxes and a relatively burdensome regulatory climate, if you want to live in a state where litigation is relatively easy to get into, then go live in those states. But if you want to be free, if you want to live free from overtaxation and free from over litigation, free from over regulation, a place that's got a great skilled workforce, I mean, move to Texas. I mean, Caterpillar and Toyota and Facebook, eBay, the first smartphone manufactured in the United States is in Texas. So they didn't come there if there was not a great future for them from the standpoint of taxes, regulations, legal system, and skilled workforce. And that's what this discussion is really about, and I look forward to having it with Governor O'Malley tonight on Crossfire, and we can discuss the merits of each state and the merits of the environment here from a economic standpoint.
Governor O'Malley did say that your policy and policy of other Republican governors, his words, not mine, are a slash and burn policy, where if you cut taxes, programs for the poor, programs, education, higher education, maybe cuts. Would you respond to that?
Well, he's wrong. Philosophically, he is wrong. Those that want to live in high tax, high regulation, high litigation states are free to do that. And the bottom line is we're wanting to talk about those policies. And in the state of Texas, we have been the fastest growing state in the nation. 30% of all the jobs created in America in the last 10 years were in Texas. It didn't happen by accident. People are moving there. Over 1,000 people a day are moving to the state of Texas. If Governor O'Malley's vision of the state of Texas was what all of these businesses saw, I don't think they'd be moving to the state of Texas. You lost Maryland in July 4,800 or so jobs. Texas created 19,000 jobs during that same period of time, thereabouts. You got two states that are headed in opposite directions. At a point in time, overtaxation, over-regulation, over-litigation is going to catch up with you.
If you're running for president in 2016, how does it help to recruit businesses out of Maryland, Connecticut, New York, and California?
Well, I have no idea what I'm going to be doing in 2016, but here's what I'm going to be doing over the next 18 months as the governor of Texas. I'm going to be crisscrossing this country, talking about red state and blue state policies. I think Americans, it doesn't make any difference whether you're in California or Connecticut or Maryland, want to see better lives for their citizens. And the way you have a better life for the people that you work for or you work with is to create economic prosperity. We need to have a flat tax in America. We need to be bringing money from offshore back into this country. We need to be opening up the XL pipeline. Create jobs in this country. There are simple solutions to it, but you have to have courageous people in Washington and courageous people in our state capitals that'll put those policies in place. You know, I hope that we all can get together and agree that competition's good. I know it's uncomfortable. I mean, probably my bet that Coach Edsel goes outside of Maryland to recruit players. My bet is he's probably got a couple of Texans or so on that team, darn him. But that's okay. That's how the Terps get to be a better, more competitive team. I will suggest to you that Governor O'Malley ought to come recruit businesses in other states. And here that we'd like to come, but your tax policy is too burdensome, your regulatory climate is too heavy, your legal system allows for oversuing. Those are the things that he would hear. And so we need to, as a country, have that conversation in a very civil and a thoughtful way. And at that particular point in time, America will be stronger, and our people, frankly, will be happier because they'll be living in states that more align them with their philosophical beliefs economically.
Do you have any advice for Congress in this Obamacare showdown and the possibility of a government shutdown? Do you think it's worth going to the mat over for?
Listen, I think they ought to fix Obamacare. I mean, the idea that we can't have a. I mean, when you've got the unions that are standing up and saying, "Hey, this is not what we signed up for," when you see states across the country saying, "You know, we're not going to be engaged in this. We're not going to be working to put these exchanges into place. We're not going to expand any programs," then that's a message to Congress that, hey, listen, the idea that this needs to go into place in its current form is on its face an absolute truth that it doesn't work.
But is it worth shutting down?
Listen, Congress is going to go forward. I think they ought to be focused on fixing it more than drawing lines in the sand. So the idea that Congress. We'd like to see Congress work. We'd like to see Congress sit down and actually work together the way Democrats and Republicans do in Texas or probably even in Maryland. That would be an improvement in and of itself.
One more
Governor,
question.
are you
Which way are
recruiting-
we headed out? Back in that way?
Are you recruiting as aggressively in any other state?
Jerry Brown would probably tell you that I'm pretty aggressively recruiting in California. I'm pretty sure Governor Quinn would say that in Illinois. We've been to Connecticut, we've been to New York. I was on the phone with Rick Scott in Florida today, and he knows that I will go recruit a business out of Florida. Bobby Jindal is a great competitor. I don't know where he is today, I'm nervous. He could be in Texas, but that's good competition. So our message will be in all 50 states before this is said and done. Obviously, Alaska and Hawaii may be a little more difficult for us to recruit from, but it all ought to be on the table. And if you can create a better climate for a business so that they can take care of the families that are counting on that business to be able to make their job secure and their children be able to go off to school, that ought to be your goal as a governor every day. How do I make my state more competitive? How do I send the message across the country that if you want to live free, come to Maryland. Our tax burden will be responsible. Our regulatory climate won't choke you out of business. We won't tax the rain that falls from the sky. I mean, we pray for rain in Texas. They tax it in Maryland.
Thank you.
Thank you, Governor.